Are those code words for something?
Yeah, code words about her temperament that some other people use the B word to describe.
I got a ton of emails today from people like you saying...
People like you? What kind of people are those kind of people?
Would the Times do the same kind of piece?
People who wear skirts, okay.
Justice Scalia, also quite assertive. Would we do the same kind of piece about his demeanor? I didn't go back and look, but you may well be right. It may be that we didn't. On the other hand, this aspect of her character, that she really digs in, she's really prepared, she really wants lawyers who appear before her to know what they're talking about, I think is interesting and reflects in many ways quite well.
Why does that make her nasty and difficult?
Those were characterizations other people used about her.
Yeah.
And you'll see in the piece that there's quite a range of stuff, and including one of her colleagues, Judge Guido Calabresi, says, you know, I heard these complaints. I actually kept track for a while of were her questions different from those of other judges, and he came to the conclusion that they were not, and that the criticisms were, as you say, sexist.
Okay, one of the things that's the president also, when the president was doing his final sort of calls on this, he called somebody and asked, who knew her, and asked her about this. This isn't like an isolated, this is not when Adam, depending on another Adam.
Meaning the president specifically asked about her temperament?
Absolutely.
He did.
Absolutely. On Wednesday, that was one of the last things, and you could tell he was concerned about it, and he was told it was not a problem, or not enough of a problem not to nominate her. So I don't think this is out of left field. And also,
Bork's temperament was an issue.
Yeah, and I can speak more to political candidates. For years, we write candidates about stories about the temperaments of candidates. I think it's legitimate. I understand the concern here. You have to be a little bit careful, but I do think it's a legitimate thing.
But it is interesting that you do hear a number of conservatives, whether it's Krautheimer, Peggy Noonan, and others saying, like, let's not go down the personal ad hominem attacks. Get her on, if you're opposed to her, get her on the issues.
But you know what else is interesting? There's also a lot of talk about her feelings, and will she, this whole notion of empathy, and will she rule based on her feelings? That
the president set that up.
He did, but that is actually something that people who study language say is also kind of sort of a subtle dig at her for being a woman, that a woman would rule based on feelings and not rationality or reason.
Now, commentators on the right are not the only ones raising ad hominem attacks. Some people are making ad hominem attacks against white guys. Let's play something that we...